Oh, that's exactly the way I wanted to start the video. Welcome everybody back to another episode here of Rome Total War with yours truly. We're back with another episode here, the second episode, and I hope everybody enjoyed the first one. I wanted to make a general announcement. As you all might have noticed, yesterday I did the second episode of the XCOM 2 War of the Chosen, the Clone Wars campaign. But I also did an impromptu video that was initially a live stream over on Twitch. That's right, I'm back on Twitch now. It wasn't really that professionally done, and to be honest, I kind of want to see if I can restart it. Twitch is very picky about a lot of different things. There's some audio that is missing from that, and I'm trying to appeal it, but we shall see how that goes. Since then, I have probably removed the video at this point. I am recording it after the fact. So yeah, that's gonna be happening. I'm still undecided of whether or not I'm going to be doing videos on Twitch or videos on YouTube. I think what I'm going to do is, because I've already have an established presence of live streaming my gaming videos on YouTube, I'm going to keep it there. But as far as maybe my art builds from my art channel and everything, which if you are not following it, you can go check it out in the description below, I might use Twitch for that platform. We'll see, because Twitch and I, yeah. I don't really know. But the other thing that I wanted to kind of discuss, and this is kind of going back to the game series here, is there are some people in the comments below that were kind of, asking, how do I go about managing, just stuff in general for this game title and everything. And I wanted to kind of go over some schematics, or not schematics, go over some things that I particularly do in my playthroughs of this game that I think other people would be interested in. So, first off, you'll notice that we have the Hastati here. And the Hastati are a good all-around unit. They're a fairly, you get them fairly early on, provided you have the militia barracks. If you don't have the militia barracks, you can at least get the barracks course, but then you'll only be able to have access to the town watch, which are nice for defense, but not ideal. So, in the Hastati, though they cost more to recruit, they are better to, and they are better overall. The other thing to consider, and this is actually something that we're going to get into this episode, is recruiting what is called, of course, a blacksmith. Here they are, and they are in, they are in the game, and they are things that you have to build. That you don't have them outright and everything, and you only have, it looks like, one settlement starting that can actually produce the blacksmith. So after we get the roads built, we are going to produce the blacksmith. And it's actually good to build this fairly early on, because this does several things. One, it retrains your units to get higher experience, if I remember correctly. Yeah, higher experience, and it provides light and heavy weapon upgrades. And of course, there's subsequent upgrades the more your settlement grows. This is highly important for essentially making sure that your army is up to snuff. So eventually what we'll do is we'll take our faction leader, who has 3 of our Hastati here, along with what eventually will be 3 more, and move right into, and we'll take them back to RTM to replenish and get some blacksmith upgrades. Now, the other thing with recruitment, if I remember correctly, and like I said, I touched upon this in the last episode, but if I remember correctly, when you recruit units, they'll take from your population of the settlement. But if you retrain units, I believe that also Okay, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So, my game decided to minimize and pause there for a moment. So, as I was saying, if you go and retrain your units, it will also, I believe, take from the populace as well. That is something to consider, especially if you're trying to grow a settlement like we are trying to do in Segesta. There are population checkpoints, as I mentioned before, that allow for us to build governor, or, you know, basically city upgrades. And they act almost like tier systems, basically. So this is like the tier 1 of the governor house. I think our minimum. We have the governor villa in there in Artium. That's next level up. And then there's like the governor's mansion or whatever it is. Oh, hello. Apparently Battlefront is ready to play. But essentially there are different levels on upgrades. But as soon as the roads get paved here, which are 33% of the way done, we're going to build the blacksmith here in Artium. And in the meantime, we're also going to recruit some more Hastati. And go from there. Now, we do have, if I remember correctly, we do have a Senate mission. Okay. We're to take out that settlement. Now, feasibly, we could go to war right now with the Gauls. I don't know if I want to just yet, though. I think I want to build up my army a little bit more before I can tackle them. We just got the militia barracks over here at Arteminimum, so we can recruit more Hastati, no problem. It's just going to take a little bit of time. Now, I want to test something out here to see if this is still the case. We're at 3449. I'm going to disband a unit of Town Watch just because I can. See, that increased the population right there. So we can kind of use that to our advantage a little bit. So if we need to say, if we wanted to recruit some Town Watch here or in Artium, send them over to Segesta and disband the populace, that will add to the population of Segesta. So we could rig it in that factor, so to speak. It's a way of kind of quote-unquote growing the population. It does take time and a little bit of money, but in terms of being able to access population upgrades, or rather settlement upgrades, that's pretty beneficial. So we're going to go ahead and end the turn, though, because there's really not much else for us to do. The Gallic spy is going to move up here. We do have 3 troops here. Their main army is right here. If I can actually click on it. It's got some horses, got some warband, and some skirmishers, and a general's unit. Okay. We can probably, with Flavius's units, deal with that, even with this army here. It's not ideal, but I think right now we can actually deal with that. I'm actually going to go ahead and have him move back this way towards RTM, just so I have him close by. In Segesta, I'm going to go ahead and actually build some wooden palisades, so that way we can actually defend should the Gauls decide to attack, which I don't know if they're going to at this moment, but they could. They could very well attack at any point. Got a trader up and running, got some Hastati recruited, diplomatic information. The following factions are now at war with each other of the SPQR and the House of Scipii against Carthage. We are losing in our profits. Wonderful. The other thing which I am actually going to do, and this might take a little bit of time, is I'm going to go ahead and begin to send my diplomat out towards various nations. I was mentioning this very, very briefly in the last episode. Wooden palisades are done. Let's go ahead and get a barracks going. And let's go ahead and get that blacksmith going in Artium. Another unit of Hastati up and running. And I would like to get the blacksmith up and running here at Arna Minimum, which would probably be a good idea. But I'm going to go ahead and actually get some paved roads, just so I can increase that troop movement and trade. So, I mentioned in the last episode that, very briefly, that diplomats were a pretty important thing, and I want to continue talking about that further. Diplomats in this game, in other games, from Rome 2 and onward, this isn't so much of a problem, but diplomats essentially allow you to create all sorts of deals and do all sorts of things diplomatic-wise. When Creative Assembly and Sega created this game, they had this intent that, one individual was responsible for all of the diplomacy that took place on the battlefield or on the map. So it was they were responsible for brokering trades, brokering bribes, as well, provided you have the money. They were also responsible for things involving war, in particular involving like ceasefires and everything like that. That's pretty prevalent in this game. You can attack anybody on sight, but you can't end a war unless your diplomat goes to a unit or a respective nation, or a nation's capital, or a settlement, or whatever. Diplomats are pretty important for that to go forward. After we recruit this unit of Hastati, we actually are going to recruit another diplomat. They cost 250, but I don't believe that there is... Okay, there is an upkeep cost of 50 per turn. But that's not bad in the scheme of things. Let's go ahead and end the turn again. Now, we did get a little bit of a profit per turn there. And what I want to do is I want to send out my agent to go to, I think, maybe the Greek states, if I can. The reason being is because they are actually a pretty good trade, I guess if you will, commodity?
General, move out.
And we're going to send Flavius Julius in there. That's a bunch of Hastati right in there. But I'm not going to recruit anymore. It's a pretty good army for right now. And when we go and take these two settlements, which will be relatively soon, how many turns do we have left until we have that? 5 turns. So, realistically, we need to... I don't know if it's going to be in time. We might have to go and take our army and start heading to Melodonium now, and then come back and retrain at Artium. That might be what we have to do. It's not ideal, but I think it's going to have to be done. So that means we need to have a little bit of a defense here in Artium. We'll call up 2 Hastati, and we will go ahead and go to war against the Gauls. Now, it's going to mean that we break our trade agreement, which is kind of keeping us afloat a little bit. So we're going to need to find some supplementary income just to make sure that we get that back. We are getting some roads here at our minimum. And we also got... Oh, we got a coming of age, a marriage celebration. Excellent. So, new general. We will go ahead and have him go with... Whoops! Clear defeat. Okay, so those guys are there. Good to know. We're going to have him go with Flavius' army. They were not able to take that. I'm actually kind of surprised.
Yes. At once.
And this will allow us also to see the map a little bit more, too. Okay, so... we're actually going to send some Hastati and Town Watch with them this time, in case we run into those barbarians again.
Imperator.
But we're going to go ahead and, I think... How many turns do we have for this mission? 3 turns. Okay.
Attack!
Let's go ahead and go to war. I'll take a turn to maintain that, to do that. War has broken out now. So how does that affect our financial stuff? Predicted profits, we will be in the red, I think. So it's important for us to find trade and fairly soon. Now we could disband some units. That's entirely, you know, something within our realm. I would not like to do so, but we can also raise taxes a little bit, so we can get back in the money element. Which I think we will. Oh, we can't raise taxes here. That is a problem. So let's see how that does. Now, once we get further in the game, we'll be able to have trade amongst ourselves. I'm going to go ahead and auto-resolve this. Average defeat.
Move depleted, sir.
Okay. We have suffered a defeat, but that is okay.
General. Sir. Orders. Onward. General. Engage the enemy.
Clear victory. Okay.
Sir.
That is good. Now, you'll notice that we're not... Again, we're not doing that well in the money, but once we take over BD-ROM,
Prepare for battle.
which we're going to assault, and I'm going to go ahead and actually just auto-resolve this. We'll wipe them out, 2,000 men strong. I'm pretty confident. I would know... Actually, you know what? No, let's fight this on the battle map. The reason being is because when we fight on the battle map, you actually can... Hold on. Let's start deployment. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So apparently I cannot talk during the little changeover screen because it kind of freezes up and everything. So it's not necessarily that good. So what I was going to explain is that when we fight on the battle map, we can actually minimize casualties by fighting, well, on the battle map.
The enemy have brought up reinforcements in a pathetic attempt to save themselves.
Okay, so these guys are all ready. We're going to enable fire at will. The reinforcements are pretty far off. We should hopefully be able to... We'll definitely begin smashing through their gates. We might be able to even break them down before they even get here. So we're going to go ahead and speed this up a little bit. And watch the frame rate drop. But we'll definitely smash these guys. We definitely have the overwhelming odds.
Our soldiers have reached the gates with a battering ram.
I do see that general's unit way off in the distance over there. Down to 60%, now 70. Gates are almost down. All right.
Down. Our battering ram has done its work.
So now we can go ahead and push on through. I'm going to send the first 4 units of Astadi through the gates. There's no reason to run them because the enemy are all clamoring on the hill right now.
Great gods! Our soldiers have done well this day. The walls are taken.
Okay. The walls are captured, which is good. Okay, they are moving forward. Good. I thought they were just stuck there for a moment. Oh, look at the frame rate drop. I do see them off in the distance. I have no clue what they are. They're just known as they're just the Gaul over there. Okay, so we can go ahead and kind of begin to get up this hill a little bit. We're going to go ahead and go in with that group. Next group is going to follow in right behind them. Like so. Lots of troop movement. And then the last guy is here. We're going to wait until all these guys get through. And then we'll move them in as a reserve here in the back. Just in case. I do see the enemy way off in this, or way over here. Trying to work on something. That is a lot of men. Men? Okay, now they can filter in now through. That's the one thing that Rome Total War has never done well, though. And even medieval Total War is going around buildings has always been interesting. Okay, these guys are in position. The first group is going to position up, actually, or reposition up over here. The second group here is going to position up along the hill over here. We're going to have these guys now position over this way. And we'll bring our general right in behind this group here. Now, provided they stay put, we can kind of begin to box them in a little bit. I'm actually going to shift these guys over just a tidge. And how are these guys doing? These guys are doing great. I'm going to move them over just a little bit more. They are warmed up. They are secured. They're fresh. I think we're good to lay waste. And let's go ahead and slow this down a little bit so the frames aren't as bad while we're watching this. So we're going to go ahead and move these guys into here. Okay, we're going to go and do that. We're going to back these guys up into here as well. And the idea is I want to use these two groups here to kind of distract the main force here, and then use these guys to come in behind and charge. In fact, I want to do the same with the general as well. So we're going to move the general's unit right over here. Hopefully, we will gain their attention. Oh, I see movement. Now what's going to happen? Let's go ahead and run it further into position here. Because they could smash us at any point now. Okay. Oh. I'm just trying to get are they doing? This is how the Romans fell. Do I have to manage everything seriously? Oh, here we come. Okay. Time to send the third group in. Let's go ahead and smash them. Oh!
Gods be praised! The enemy general is killed! Fear makes a home in our enemies' hearts!
Okay. These groups on the side are smashing them now. Let's go ahead and actually smash these guys in here. And let's run these guys in.
Gods be praised! The enemy general is dead! His men know their doom approaches!
Okay, let's remove fire at will, because we are killing some of our own guys. Okay. Come on, get in there. They are going down. Alright, go ahead and reroute over here. You guys are going to come over this way and you flank on the side, while you guys smash into the group over here. And the general's unit is going to come around this way. Why are you firing? I thought I told you not to fire at will. Oh well. Look at that. Here we go. Yeah, they're dead. They are so dead. Almost there.
This is a heroic victory, worthy of Roman arms!
Alright, we smashed them. Did take a little bit of damage there, but you know what? It's okay. That is okay, because we achieved victory. Let's go ahead and occupy the settlement, get a little bit of cash back. And let's go ahead and actually begin to retrain some of these guys, just so we're replenished, so to speak. Now, we're going to go ahead and actually tear down some of these buildings here and whatnot. We don't have a whole lot of money. Let me see here. Our next target would be over there. Blockade Pavitium. We're gonna skip that. Solely from the purpose of we're not going to have ships to blockade in time, and we're just going to go ahead and fight it.
Imperator.
And we're going to take
Sir, General.
all of our units that are 160,
Imperator. Onward. Orders.
and we're going to go ahead and move these guys into Melodonium. Nice force there. We'll replenish those guys for right now.
General. Prepare for battle.
And we'll eventually go take these guys out. Now, it is a larger force with a smaller army here, but I have no problem taking those guys out. I think what we might do is we might send a few guys that are retrained over to Flavius's army, just to make sure that victory is guaranteed. There we go. Decided to auto-resolve that. Now I'm pretty sure we will be able to take them.
Prepare for battle. Besieging settlement, sir. Settlement under siege, sir. Imperator.
Alright, let's go ahead and take these guys here.
Move out.
And just to bolster their forces there a little bit. Alright, let's go ahead and actually retrain these guys next. And then we'll get some construction going. I'm going to go ahead and get some roads, because we are now actually making a little bit of money, which is good. We're over 1,000 now. That's excellent. We can retrain these guys here as well. Oh, that's right, because the blacksmith is up and running now. That's excellent. All right. Well, I'm not going to get any more troops at the moment, but what I am going to do is I'll retrain all those guys, and basically we'll keep enough to defend against the Gaul for right now. Again, over here probably in Segesta and Melodium. So that's going to be good. And the other thing I want to do, we're going to go ahead and actually auto-resolve this battle as well. Nice. Occupy the populace. Alright. Now, we did take quite a beating that time, but we'll go ahead and do the palisades there. We can't retrain, but because we don't have a militia barracks, but we will get that up and running soon enough. Now, you'll notice from the Senate, we don't need to... The ability to blockade the port is now no longer relevant, so we don't need to do it anymore. But the good thing is we now have a port, not only at Arteminium, but we also have it in Pavitium, and that will actually help us out with the trade stuff, especially if we get trade with the Greek islands, which of course are being taken over by the Brudii. But we'll see how that goes. We are going to take these two rebel settlements next. That's going to be our next focus. And that's going to be awesome to do. Let's go ahead and do the 106 option and 114 and 116, 17. Yeah, we'll do all of them. That's fine. And we'll also get a trader going next, just to make sure that we keep on top of our economy. Let's see, Pavitium, the walls are being worked on. We can actually, since that's going to take 0 turns to complete, we can go ahead and actually begin to build something else. And I think we'll begin working on the militia barracks, just so we'll be able to retrain at Pavitium. Now, I could send the army down here to Artium, but I'm not going to, because we'll eventually build ourselves a barracks here. So that'll be all fine and dandy. We actually are running a little long for the video. Take this settlement, Nabu Martius. Okay. So in that case, we're actually going to need to take our army
General.
under Flavius's command. I'll get some town watch going here, just for the time being, until we can get our barracks up and running. But what I'll do
March. No
And they are not happy. They are not happy. I'll go ahead and get another SATA unit there. I'm going to go ahead and actually get a market up and running. I think an R minimum. Maybe. Actually, markets will be a good upgrade, I think, at this point. But I will say, practice ranges are going to be really good, too. I think I'll go ahead and get one in RTM. And I'm just checking elsewhere. We're going to go ahead and get land clearance over here in Segesta, so we can help with that population growth. And we're going to send... We have a new family member. We're going to send them up this way to Pavitium so we can govern the state up there.
Imperator.
Okay. And practice ranges are good because they get to unlock ranged units.
Orders. March.
So we're going to have a lot of retraining to do. So... Luckily, they have the population to be able to do it. Okay, so... What we're going to do is we're going to take...
General.
Obviously put this guy into Pavitium. Let's see, we're going to get some Town Watch going there. I think we're going to go ahead and... How much do we have more on this? 1. Yeah, that's two Town Watch are probably going to be fine. And then we'll eventually get some like paved roads and everything there too. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get some paved roads over here in Medalonium. Just so we can still increase that troop movement. That'll go ahead and retrain so we can get that army moving over to Nabomartis. Ceasefire? Nah. Nah. Oh, the Thracians. I'm going to do a counter offer. I'll take your trade rights, and I don't need your map information. But we'll definitely offer trade rights. Yes. Okay, so we got trade now with the Thracians.
Waiting your command. Your honor. I shall speak with them.
Can we offer trade rights with the Macedonians? Yes. Okay, good.
I cannot do that, sir.
That's actually pretty fantastic. So we got trade rights with 2 nations now. So our money coffers will improve. And I'm going to go ahead and increase the tax... No, I'm not going to increase the tax rate. They won't like that. Okay. So we're doing pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and continue to retrain the rest of this army here and recruit another unit just in case. Practice range will be done at a day or at a turn. And in our minimum, I'm going to go ahead and actually build a market. Get that going. Pavitium, I'm going to build roads. And that's about all we can do. Okay. The last thing I want to do before I end the episode and before I forget...
Your honor. I cannot do that, sir.
Oh, the Greek families. Can we make trade rights with you? Yes. Perfect. So now 3 nations that we have trade rights with. The Thracians, the Macedonians, and the Greek states, which is absolutely fantastic. So our money is going to be in a little bit better situation than it was before when we had trade against the Gauls, which of course now we don't anymore because we're at war with them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this army, which of course, as you can see, it's got a lot of things now. We're going to take this unit of Triarii. No, we're not going to take the unit of Triarii. And we're going to have it move towards the west to Nabomartis. Now, how many turns do we have in order to take it? 7. We're going to take out this settlement along the way. And we might just do it. It might take some time, but we might just do it.
General. Imperator.
unless we send this force along with it, which we very well might. Gonna go ahead and recruit some Hastati there now.
General.
I think we will.
Imperator. March. Move depleted, sir.
And we'll go ahead and recruit those barbarian units as well, or mercenary units rather. But I'm going to end the episode there, guys. We are over time, more than I intended for this episode. But I hope people learned something. I think it's going to be good knowledge for you all. Obviously, we are managing quite well. We got some trade agreements and things like that. And we're out of money at the moment, but we are making money, which is a good thing. In fact, if we go to our financial stuff, we're going to get a projected treasury of 2,400, which is actually not bad. In fact, I'll start the... no, I won't start the turn for next episode. That's going to do it for this episode, guys. I hope everybody enjoys. Again, I'm going to also do another update video at some point. I'm still not really able to stream all that regularly, so... for now, it's just going to be episodes and whatnot, and I really honestly have no clue what I'm going to do when I stream. If I'm just going to stay on to YouTube or if I'm going to go on Twitch, I don't know. Let me know. Let me know. That's going to do it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free, as always, to Hulk smash that like button. Comment in the comment section below if you're new. Do not forget to subscribe. And as always, may the Force be ever in your favor.